So the next part of a treatment plan is kind of the intervention. So as far as the intervention goes, it's kind of taking the plans that you discussed in your objectives and putting them into action. So as far as your first goal of maintaining a sober lifestyle, um, you really wanted to work on discussing ways that you could prevent using substances by completing weekly goals, as well as trying to work on some skills that you have now to help you in the future towards the military. So, how would you feel about doing some little bit of things outside of our therapy session to work on these goals during the week when you're not with me? Like what? So, for example, I think it would be good to create a substance use log. Okay. So in the substance use log, you would write down daily for the next week the substances you use, how many times a day, the time of day, what it was, etc. And if there are days, which I hope there are at least one or two, that you do not use substances, simply write that you did not use any. And the purpose of this is so that you can kind of track your substance use and work towards making it decrease so that eventually your substance log is empty. Okay. So is that something you feel like you would be comfortable to complete by next week? Yeah, I can do that. Do you have any questions about it? No. Another thing that I think would be helpful is to make a list of what you feel are your strengths to getting into the military. I think that it's really important that we realize what our strengths are and not just focus on what our weaknesses are. I know that a lot of people try to figure out what their weaknesses are and then work towards them. But it's good to at least write down what your strengths are so that you have something positive to look forward to. So in the next week, do you feel comfortable writing a list of at least 10 things that you feel are your strengths and abilities to get into the military? Yeah, I can do that. Do you have any questions regarding that assignment? No, I don't think so. Nope. Okay. So, do you feel like I effectively explained what I expect from you in the next week? Yeah. Okay. So that is for those plans of completing a daily substance use log and writing down your skills and strengths will be due next week when I see you. And those are working towards your goal of maintaining a sober lifestyle and sort of your objective of setting weekly goals. And if there's anything about your substance use that you have questions about as you're doing your log, feel free to write down questions so that you could discuss them with me next week. Okay. So, again, to backtrack, your second goal was to create new friendships and reconnect with your father. Um, I think it's important that you try to take part in some social activities and try to get some phone numbers as a way to make new friends. So I think that it will be important for you to, excuse me, I'm sorry, to also make a list of things that are positive and negative about you and your father. For example, do you feel comfortable listing how not having your father in your life has affected you negatively, as well as things that you have learned positively out of this experience? Because even though this experience of not having your father around is sad, there's sometimes another way to look at it. But at the same time, I would like you to write a list of things that would be positive and negative about trying to reconnect with your father at this point in your life. Do you feel comfortable writing those things down for me in the log? Yeah, that'd be great. So, do you have any questions regarding what I kind of expect from that? Am I just making these lists if
or do I have to act upon these goals?
Well, let me ask you, what do you feel comfortable with doing this week?
I'm not sure yet.
So if you feel comfortable wanting to try to reach out to your dad, please do that. It's a great first step just to whether send him a text or a phone call just to say hi. But if you want to first reflect on the positives and negatives of you and your father's relationship, then just focus on the assignment first. Bring it back to me next week, and then we can go from there.
Okay.
As far as making new friends, I want you to think of some social activities going on in your community this week. Are there any activities going on?
Um, there is a marathon.
There's a marathon going on right in town.
Yeah.
That's great. So you would like to attend.
Mhm.
So how would you feel about trying to make some new connections with people at the marathon, or inviting people that you go to the gym with and do your events with to join you at the marathon?
I could do that.
Do you feel comfortable with doing that?
It might bring about some anxiety, but I can try.
Okay, good. Trying is good. So if you complete the marathon, that's great. If there's any other social activities that you complete, put it in the log. Um, it could even you can even include just going to your hiking classes because that's a social activity that you're engaging in. I also want you to write down those phone numbers. So if you could try to get 2 phone numbers in the next week of people that you enjoy, want to spend time with, that would be great. So how do you feel about that?
I'll try.
And do you have any questions regarding what is expected or things like that?
I don't think so.
And as far as your anxiety, because I know that it's anxiety provoking for you to try to get these phone numbers and to make new friends, what is something that you can do to cope with your anxiety?
Um, I could try the breathing exercises you taught me.
So being able to clear your mind and go in with a positive and stress-free mindset.
Yeah.
Another thing that I would suggest you doing is to just be positive when you walk in. You know, and so definitely clearing your head with the exercise will be helpful. But if you just look at it as a positive experience, it could change your thinking. Because sometimes people think negatively about things, and that is what makes them anxious. So even changing your mindset on this being a positive experience instead of it being a negative experience can really make a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and if you are unable to accomplish any of these tasks in the next week, that's okay too. But I want to just know that you're trying and you're putting your effort. And I think that by logging all these different things between your substance use, your strengths and positives and negatives regarding your father, I think creating these lists is important because you're able to see it laid out in front of you. And sometimes when you see things laid out in front of you, it gives you a better picture of what is going on. So we won't set any goals this week because I want you to focus on these smaller goals of getting these assignments done by next week.
Okay.
So how do you feel?
I feel like they're doable.
Do you feel like they're realistic?
They are realistic. I could probably do most of them.
And do you feel motivated to complete these tasks?
I do.
So no questions for me.
Not that I can think of.
All right, John. Well then, thank you very much for coming in to seeing me today. If you have any questions during the week, feel free to give me a call. And good luck on your marathon. And I really look forward to seeing what you're able to accomplish by next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.